you are getting f***ed. And so if you want to help me un you, then like vote me into office.
And you went back to Taiwan and you told your family out there that you were running for the president of the United States. What did they say?
They were like, oh really? That's nice. They'll just like go on to the conversation.
That is the most classic.
It hadn't hit the news yet.
No, it hadn't hit the news.
What's been happening?
So I've been around the country spreading the word about me, the campaign, how we need to build a different kind of economy, raise hundreds of $1,000s. The average donation is only $11. So my fans are even cheaper than Bernie Sanders' fans were the last time. At this point, if we don't step up and help lead society in the right direction, it's just gonna get deeper and darker and nastier for Asian Americans, for all Americans. So I got turned on to that really by Donald Trump winning in 2016, where I saw that happen and it just shocked me into action, honestly. And I'll say, the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian guy who likes numbers. And what we need to do is we need to take Donald Trump and then swing it the other direction. He wants to freeze time and like turn the clock backwards. We need to turn the clock forwards, and that's what I'm gonna do.
You know, older folks that are like in America and they just miss the days of like the Beach Boys and Elvis, those movies with Will Ferrell where he always wears a mustache, or always, obviously, I don't want the world to go back to that time. Shout out to Bruce Lee though. Bruce Lee was a poppin' Asian, I believe, during that moment. What do you say when people say, Andrew, of course you want to move forward, just look at the individual positioning and incentives, but I would like to turn the clock back, and that would benefit me.
I know what you mean. So if you look at the numbers, if you were born in the United States in the 1950s, there was a 93% chance that you were going to do better than your parents. You fast forward to people born in the 90s, which I think might include you guys. If you were born in the 1990s in the US, then you only have a 50-50 chance of being better off than your parents. And that number is going lower and lower. So when people say they want to turn the clock backwards, what they really mean is that they want an America where their kids are going to have better lives than they did, and they don't.
So when he mentions people not being able to live the same standard of living as their parents, this is a message that Bernie has kind of been pushing. It's because wealth inequality has grown in this country. So many people have lost good paying jobs due to, yes, automation, but also bad trade deals like NAFTA and others that have led to jobs going overseas. So this is an important point that a lot of Americans care about.
See that happening now, but you can't try and get there by literally like reversing time or saying like how were things in the 60s and 70s.
What happens when the nostalgia for the old economics manifests itself in more of a nostalgia for the old racial diversity?
America's heading towards being majority minority in 2045, so that's 27 years from now. What you would expect to happen is for the shrinking white majority to become more and more nostalgic for the past and feel culturally threatened and insecure. And then you add into that the fact that their economic insecurity is going up and up because we're getting rid of the truck driving jobs, the retail jobs, the manufacturing jobs. And so that's going to manifest itself as a lot of racial hostility. And then if you think, what would you expect to happen in the beginning, in like the third inning of that? You'd expect maybe Donald Trump, maybe a rise of racism, maybe like outbreaks of shootings and violence, all of which are happening. All of this stuff is unfortunately consistent with a narrative of this country disintegrating over the next 30 years as it becomes more diverse.
Dude, you just painted a super bleak picture of the future.
And then you have this liberal narrative which puts everything under the umbrella of racism. Right. It's like if things are going badly, then it's racism. And then if you're a poor white, you're looking up being like, how the heck am I racist? Like I'm just like trying to put food on the table.
Maybe I grew up in a town.
There's a reason why both Andrew Yang and Bernie are not constantly talking about race. Even though there is racism in the country, there are a lot of poor white people who are accused of having white privilege when they don't have a lot going for them in life. Some of them live in trailer parks, some of them come from broken homes, and so for them to be told that they are extremely privileged, they have a hard time with that idea. Think about white homeless people. Are those people extremely fortunate and they're racist? He's wise to bring up that idea that poor white people being accused of racism, that's not a good combination.
Where literally just geographically there are no minorities. Looking at it like, how could I be racist when I didn't even meet a minority?
That if someone can't pay their bills, that mindset of scarcity reduces their functional IQ by 13 points, which is one standard deviation. So that's like if you put someone in a position where it's like they're living week to week or paycheck to paycheck, and then you ask them to care about something like climate change,
They're not really gonna have the comfort.
They're not high enough on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs to bring themselves to care.
and what we have to do is we have to try and reverse that mindset of scarcity by putting some more money in their hands so that they don't have to worry about their survival.
As a
Andrew Yang talks about scarcity and how when someone is in a mindset of scarcity, their IQ can drop 13 points. This is an idea that he brings up in the War on Normal People. But that's a good point to bring up in this video, that even though some people on the left, they try to attribute everything to racism, scarcity is a huge factor in this. He highlights in the book that people have a harder time being objective when they're in a mindset of scarcity. And so that's a great idea for him to bring up as he's talking with these two brothers.
We do better in a stable society where there are opportunities and hard work gets rewarded. And you're starting to see the beginning of a world where hard work's not going to matter as much. The rules are going to get written by people in power, and like you can tell, like all norms go out the window. Because if you're a young person in this country and you feel like you're getting shafted and you just want to get disengaged from the system, you have been shafted. You've been shafted through like crazy expensive college that doesn't even make sense. You're getting shafted by climate change. You are getting f***ed. And so because you're getting f***ed, you're just like, hey, I don't want to care. And I want to undo that. I want to un*** you. And so if you want to help me un** you, then like vote me into office. So if that's not a reason to care, then I don't know.
Andrew, I can hear the passion in your voice because you are definitely cursing a lot more than last video. All right, Andrew.
When he says that we're starting to see a world in which hard work isn't rewarded, could be from some of the ideas that Yuval Noah Harari and Homo Deus, basically where there's going to become people that are extremely elite. They just pass down good genes to their kids, but they also have a lot of money, and they are able to genetically engineer their kids. They're able to use technology in ways that benefit them. They're able to make a lot of money from technology, and the gap between the rich and the poor will grow so far that if you're not born into wealth, your chance of becoming wealthy later in life is going to be extremely low. Andrew Yang understands that that is a potential reality, the way that things are going right now.
limit the universal base income to purchases that are more base level.
Even if you look at something like the EBT card, what a lot of people do is they'll buy some fungible food like a bunch of soda and then they'll sell it to someone, get that money, and then do something else. Like, it's very hard to make a system that you can't game. And you don't want to have an attitude where it's like, we know what's best for you, you can only buy food. Because what if that person has a great idea for a business and that's what they want to put the money into? So we have to trust people to be able to make their own decisions. And studies have shown that that's actually better for their satisfaction than if you attach a lot of conditions and controls. And my platform is about putting more economic power and self-determination into everyone's hands, particularly young people, because if you're coming out of high school, college, you see this future and you're like, man, it's financially insecure, which it probably will be. We have to change that for you all. And putting $1,000 into the hands of every American adult starting at age 18 would be a game changer. And we can make that real for you all if I become president in 2020.
Andrew Yang believes in you.
Woo! Oh,
All right,
that was actually a hard move.
Yeah.
Oh! Andrew gets $1,000 a month to do whatever he wants.
I'm already feeling good.
That's what happens in the UBI world. We all actually win. No one's a loser. We all win.
Which one are you more like? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James?
I'm definitely more like LeBron than the other two guys, because I love to try and build teams, make people better, make people stronger. Don't care about who gets the credit, don't care about who gets the last shot.
A lot of the talk shows, it's clear that they take a strong stance on one side.
Is that helpful, or does it need to be like?
It really is critical thought. Is that one of the problems is right now we have people who are just falling into camps and they're not really thinking more critically about ideas on the side. Yeah, they got the war paint on. And at this point, if you look at the numbers, about 28% of Americans identify as Democrats, 23% as Republicans, and 44% identify as independents. So, you know, there are a lot of Americans out there who don't think that like either camp really gets everything right. And so we need to try and bring the middle together and give the middle a voice.
Do you think, you being an Asian man, do you think you running for president impacts that at all?
To become the CEO of my own company, I started my own company. And so, you know, like a lot of the way we're going to advance, and you guys represent this and resemble this very much, is like we have to build our own opportunities. And so, in terms of running for president, if we wait around for someone to say, hey, it's your turn, that's never going to happen. We're going to have to step up and say, this is what my vision is, this is what I can do, and then have other people get on board. I mean, I remember playing basketball, I remember missing a layup, and then kids being like, what was that, a Chinese layup? And they started laughing. And then I was like, I went home feeling like and then what did? I just can practice layups for like a long ass time. And that's like, we gotta take advantage of what makes us special. We're willing to learn, we can try hard, we can frankly like take some discomfort. And then you take that discomfort and grow from it. Doing is very, very different than analyzing, as you said. We just need to do more, and as we do more, we'll get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I think we got it. We're full up on the analyze.
Yes.
Like there's a balance, but we're good on this one. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching that very special episode of Fun Bros Food. Huge shout out to Andrew Yang, presidential candidate for 2020.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you. Best of luck out there.
But not a paid political
I'm not even
endorsement.
saying win.
We're not even. I'm not even saying I'm voting.
No.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, peace.
Peace. Boom.
Wow.
That story that he ends with saying that he missed a layup in school and then kids laughed and asked him, what is that, a Chinese layup? No, he just went home and practiced layups for a super long period of time. That's a good example of just his resilience. Him saying that basically we're the change we want to see in the world. If we wait around for someone else to do something, it's not going to happen. We have to step up and basically take opportunity for ourselves. So that's what he's doing in being president. He sees problems that are happening in this country that no one's addressing, and he's confident in his intellect and in his own abilities, so he's pushing for that change that he wants to see. If you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe for my channel. I'll be coming out with more videos on politics, history, and also me teaching my junior high classes.